What's up, internet? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mike Herring. Thanks for hanging out today. One of the questions I get asked all the time on my Instagram page is, Mike, how did you stay fit during med school? How do you continue to stay fit during residency? Well, it's difficult. It's not complicated, but it's still difficult. If you're watching this video, maybe you're starting to get a little bit nervous about how you're going to stay healthy and fit in med school or residency, or maybe you started to notice the pants getting a little bit tighter or the weight starting to creep up a little bit. Trust me, that's okay. It happens to literally all of us. So here, I'm going to share my top 3 tips for staying fit in med school and residency. So the first tip I have, it's the most important tip, is simply plan. Now, it may sound simple, but planning is the most important and most ignored and underutilized tactic there is in staying fit. I've seen a lot of people in med school have this long, hour by hour, minute by minute schedule. And if you're like that, you're probably a step ahead of the game. If you're like me, a little bit more fly by the seat of your pants, that's okay. We still have to plan. So what exactly are we planning? Well, first and foremost, we're planning our food. Now, if you're watching this video, you've probably heard something about the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. 20% of the time, you're allowed to get a little bit lax. Now, there are a lot of different 80-20 rules. The first I want to talk about is the diet 80-20 rule. The diet 80-20 rule means 80% of all of your calories come from good sources that you're supposed to be eating. Your vegetables, your lean cuts of meat, your complex carbohydrates, all that good stuff that we meatheads know and love. And 20% of your calories, notice calories, not 20% of your meals, 20% of your calories come from the cheat stuff, the ice cream, the pizza, or if you're like me, the burgers. So how do you maintain 80% of your calories coming from the healthy stuff? Well, you gotta prepare. It's important to take a couple hours one evening and prepare your food for the next 4, 5, 6 days, however long it might be until you have your next day off. The first couple times you do it, it might take a long time and you might feel overwhelmed. That happens to everybody. But I promise, the first couple times it takes 5 hours, the next couple times it takes 4, the next couple times it takes 3, and then it becomes habit. What's beautiful about this is you can start cooking food and then go take care of some other neglected things in your life, like laundry. I may or may not be speaking from experience. We all neglect stuff at home. I haven't done laundry in like 2 weeks. It's fine. I should go do this after I finish recording. But anyway, planning is the most important thing you can do for your diet. Now, your goals are probably different than mine, and that's okay. You have to figure out what your goals are and move forward from there. Now, the other part about planning is your workouts. Now, like I said, 80% is dieting and 20% is exercise. But 20% is still a big percent. So the first thing about planning for the gym is get your stuff ready beforehand. So I've already lifted today, and I'm going to lift when I finish work tomorrow. And check this out. My bag's next to my desk, already packed, ready to go. So I have no excuses when I'm done with work. My gym bag will already be in my trunk. Instead of going home and sitting on the couch for half an hour and then thinking, I should probably go to the gym now, and all of a sudden I'm hungry and it's dinner time, and by the time I eat dinner it's 7, 8 o'clock and I'm thinking about going to bed, I'll be ready to go. Right from work, straight to the gym. No excuses. No thinking about it, just doing. So get your gear ready the night before, the day before, whenever it is, but get it ready beforehand. The second part about planning in the gym is knowing what you're going to do before you get there. I see so many people walking into the gym thinking, I don't know what I'm going to do today. Maybe I'll run on the treadmill for a while. Maybe I'll ride the bike for a while. Maybe I'll do the elliptical for a while. Maybe I'll horse around on some weights for a while. And then I'll probably just go home because I'm tired and I'm kind of not feeling it. No, take the thinking out of it. You've been thinking all day at work, all day in the library, wherever you are, you've been thinking all day. It's time to turn your brain off and get to work. You've worked out your brain all day, now it's time to work out the rest of your body. There are hundreds and hundreds of free workouts out there. There are even hundreds of free programs out there to align with exactly what your goals are that tell you exactly what to do. A lot of these programs even have daily or weekly videos you can just pull up and watch first thing in the morning, so you can already start thinking about what you're going to do. So by the time you're done with work, you just go to the gym and you remember, oh yeah, this is what I'm doing. You pull up an app, you pull up a screenshot, and here's exactly what you're going to lift. So plan your workouts before you actually go into the gym. Know exactly what you're going to do. Turn your brain off and just go do it. Tip number 2, stay disciplined. Nobody ever got fit overnight. That just didn't happen. It takes a long time to get out of shape, so it's going to take a long time to get back into shape. You have to stay disciplined. Like I said before, it's not complicated, but it's still difficult. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you've already thought, you know what, maybe it's time for me to get my ass in gear. And you might be worrying, I think a lot of my classmates or residency mates may be on a different trajectory. That's fine. Just know, before you get started, their habits may not emulate the habits that you'd like to cultivate. And that's okay, but you have to stay disciplined. I know, when it's lunchtime and you've already written a bunch of your notes, you've already seen patients, you've already done a lot of thinking, you're already tired, you're already hungry. And the smell of pizza is intoxicating. Again, speaking from experience. This circles back to planning. If you've already planned out your meals, it'll be a little bit easier to say no to that pizza and say yes to what you've prepared for yourself. It's a little bit easier because it's always hard to say no to pizza, trust me. And again, speaking from experience, every time I eat the food that's readily available instead of the good stuff that I've prepared beforehand, I always end up regretting a little bit, thinking, this doesn't really align with my goals. And I'm kind of mad I did this. That being said, tripping up every once in a while, not a big problem. As long as it stays every once in a while. Remember, 20% of the calories you put in your body is allowed to be something that's a little bit less healthy. Just a little bit. Again, speaking from experience, the first few weeks of this are very, very difficult. You're going to feel deprived. But that's all mental, it's not physical. If you track your calories, you know you're getting enough. My final tip, tip number 3, is the most overlooked tip, and it is rest. You have to rest. I'll be honest, I really wanted the rest tip to be number 1. For me, it's the most important. I refuse, if I can help it, to get less than 6 hours of sleep. Now I know, sometimes on call, you're there till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and have to be back at 6 in the morning. So sleeping 6 hours, not really super possible. But anytime I can help it, I have to get at least 6 hours. 7 hours is better. 8 hours is better than that. If you're faced with the choice of meal prepping and getting 3 hours of sleep versus getting 7 hours of sleep and eating the food in the cafeteria, I'll be honest, I would choose the 7 hours of sleep in the cafeteria food. Knowing full well that with 7 hours of sleep, my brain and my body will be nice and rested so I can make good decisions in the cafeteria. With this particular lifestyle, both your body and your mind will be stressed. Your body will be stressed from the gym, your mind will be stressed from work. There's nothing else that you've got that we can stress anymore. So please get the sleep that your body needs. Without this sleep, you will not recover, you will not grow, you will not improve. So please get the sleep that you need. The other part of rest that's super underrated is not just sleep, but is separating yourself from fitness and medicine. It's really easy to get bogged down in all of your workouts and all of your meal prep and studying for boards and reading up on your patients and making sure your notes are all perfect. You gotta step away for a little bit. I don't care if you're a super introvert and all you want to do is crush Netflix, that's great. Or if you're a cellist and the best thing for you to do to turn your brain off is to just play your cello, or you're a salsa dancer and you have to go salsa, or whatever it might be, separating yourself from fitness and medicine is huge. You absolutely have to do it. You absolutely have to recover that part of your brain too. It's not always fun. Now, I probably like the gym a lot more than most people. In fact, I'm certain of it. But it's important for me to separate myself. If you spend every waking moment you have working at the hospital or in the gym or with meal prep, you will burn out eventually. You have to take time to separate yourself from that part of your life and go do something different. Burnout is one of the largest problems in medicine right now, so go get your rest, you're gonna need it. So a quick recap of this video. My top 3 tips to staying fit and healthy in med school and residency. Number 1 is to plan. Plan out your meals, plan out your workouts, plan out your gear beforehand, get everything in order so you can turn your brain off and just go do. Tip number 2 is to stay disciplined. This is a marathon, this is not a sprint. It is very difficult to get any sort of results in a very short period of time. You have to stay the course even when your friends and your colleagues are doing other things. That's okay. Make sure you stay disciplined. And it's okay to trip up every once in a while. We all do it. But instead of dwelling on it, what's important is to get back on focusing on what it is that you need to be doing. And the third tip is rest. Make sure you sleep when you can, and make sure you separate yourself from work and from the gym whenever you can. I know those first two things are super important, but it's really important that you separate yourself and give your body the rest and the time it needs to improve. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I certainly hope at least part of it helped you. If you got any value at all, it would mean the world to me if you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.